Hey everyone, S-Dub Nation here, and welcome back to a brand new Arrowverse video here in the channel. I'd like to stop and take the time to rank all 31 seasons of the Arrowverse from worst to best. Please note that everything that I say in this video is just my very own opinion. My list is certainly not the right list, it is just my list, and you are free to comment down below your ranking of the Arrowverse seasons from worst to best, or you could just do your favorite. Please note that I will be saying minor spoilers for all seasons of the Arrowverse, from Arrow, the Flash, the Supergirl, the DC Legends, all of them. And also, this video is pretty long, so if you might want to take a couple breaks here and there, you can. So without further ado, let's get into the ranking. Kicking off my list at number 31, we have Freedom Fighters The Ray, Season 1 and Season 2. I think there are 2 seasons. Really, it has great animation, not a very interesting plot. I really wasn't that much invested. I tried to rewatch it last night, but I was bored, and I kind of fell asleep, so that shows how bad of a show this actually is. I mean, it's alright for developing the character, but just not great at world building. Kicking off my top 30 list, we have Vixen, Season 1 and Season 2. Now, really, they just combined these two into a movie, and it's just the first and second season combined. They're both 30 minutes each. I mean, they're 5 episodes. So it's really nothing spectacular. But I do like the fact that Stephen Amell and Grant Gustin actually returned to play their cartoon versions of themselves. And actually the voice actors for Vixen came to Season 4 of Arrow as Vixen, you know, respectively. She could have picked a better season to come and kind of have her first appearance inside of live action, but all in all, I think I liked her character. I loved Vixen as a show. It was alright, great animation, it was alright story. It was more interesting than Freedom Fighters The Ray, so that's great. But she did get replaced by her grandmother in Legends. Coming in at number 29, we have Constantine Season 1. Now, I was very bored with this show. I was very bored with this season. I was not at all interested in this show or in this season because it was just boring, and it was just him facing demons and scary stuff and horror elements and all this stuff. And apparently on Rotten Tomatoes, people like this show, people like this season more than they like Season 6 of Arrow, which I cannot see. Of course, I will put this higher than Freedom Fighters The Ray and Vixen, mainly because it has horror elements and it tried to do something different, but it's just not for me. I was not a fan of this show. I wasted 11 hours of my day watching Constantine Season 1 because I was trying to prepare for Crisis, and it really didn't have anything to contribute to that crossover. So I'm telling you this right now. Do not watch this season. Do not watch this show because it is boring. Constantine is a fascinating character, and he deserved a better show. And honestly, I guess this is like a look inside of his world and like how he sees things, but it just makes him come off as a pedophile. So honestly, do not watch this show unless you want to waste 11 hours of your time. Coming in at number 28, we have Arrow Season 4. Now, if the tone wasn't mixed up enough, they had to throw in Felicity nagging throughout the entire season. I mean, she's a hypocrite in and of herself. She does so many things and hypocrites and tries to make Oliver feel bad about the choices that he made, and all she does is do the exact same thing behind Oliver's back and expect somebody to forgive her for it. And it just makes me so mad that they changed the tone. I mean, a lighter tone, that could work for any other superhero show but Arrow that started off with a gritty tone. You can't have Star City be lighthearted. You can have Central City, you can have National City, but you can't have Star City be lighthearted. And that's one of the things that I hate about this season. And also, everyone is a superhero. Everyone's getting in on the action. We have more superheroes coming in. It's just too much stuff going on. And Damien Dark is not a nice addition to this season, but he is a nice addition to DC Legends. But come on, his powers are pretty cheap. So honestly, this is just a step backwards for Arrow, and I don't understand how this is better than Season 6. Coming in at number 27, we have Black Lightning Season 3. Now, when Black Lightning Season 3 ended, I was not there. I did not watch the season finale because it just bored me. The first 4 minutes bored me. I could not sit down and watch the show. I could not sit down and watch the entire season. I had to get up so many times just to watch the season, even just to watch the last episode. Honestly, this season is it's so different from what came before. Yeah, second season was lackluster. The first season was great, but this season just made me hate Black Lightning because it's boring. It's nothing spectacular about it. yeah, I can't even find anything good about this season because it's mostly just him in the lab. And if it wasn't him in the lab, then there was nothing else particularly special about this season. And the suit change, I really didn't like the suit change. The suit change was not my favorite. I don't like the suit because it just makes him look like he skipped leg day. He has a great upper body, not great legs. But China Anne McClain turning into Lightning, fully formed Lightning, it's pretty cool. And plus, Khalil's back with a great character arc. Coming in at number 26, we have Arrow Season 3. Now, Arrow Season 3 is actually one of those seasons that I kind of enjoy. I don't think it's the worst thing to come out of Arrow. I mean, Felicity nagging, it wasn't as bad as Season 4 and some later seasons. But the season is pretty dark in tone. It's not a lot of dare going on. Ray Palmer is a great addition to the team, but it just makes me feel like this is actually the black sheep of Arrow. Arrow really doesn't acknowledge Season 3 that much, only with Nana Parbat and the White Canary dying. Well, actually, Sarah Lance dying. She was the Black Canary before she became the White Canary. So, Black Canary dying and all that. So, honestly, I can't really talk about the season because I really don't remember much from it. All I remember is that Ra's al Ghul was inside of it, and I guess he was an okay villain. I didn't enjoy him. I mean, he was just there to drop exposition and talk, and Oliver is in Hong Kong in the flashbacks. I mean, that's pretty cool. I like the Hong Kong storyline, but just the stuff that was going on in the real world in the present timeline, I really wasn't that interested in it. I mean, Oliver's arc when he went inside the League of Shadows, or I think it was the League of Assassins. I don't even remember the names, but when he went inside of that little secret team, I wish those episodes could have been longer. Instead, it was only 3 episodes. So they kind of messed up a villain that was perfectly fine 9 years earlier. But I guess that's what Arrow wanted to do. And they did that character in Batman Begins way better than they did in Arrow. And they're essentially the same property. Coming in at number 25, we have Flash Season 4. Now, in Arrow Season 4, if Felicity nagging was bad, Iris's nagging is bad. Iris is one of those characters that was great in the first 2 seasons. She was this reporter and she was scoping out the Flash, kind of made it seem like a Lois Lane and Superman type of relationship. But then she gets inside of this role where she has to be over controlling and everything like that. She has to be the leader of the team, and really I don't like that. I don't like that aspect. Personally, I wish that Cisco was probably the leader, but instead, Cisco is the one that wants to bring Barry back, and Iris is the one that doesn't want to bring Barry back. And also, when Barry comes back, I wish we could have had more of him in this crazy mindset where he's talking like he was still in the Speed Force. So I would have loved more of that aspect and trying to explore that growth. But I do like the fact that the suit looks better in this season. I think this is the best suit that we've ever seen out of a Flash season. But the villain is very weak. Coming in at number 24, we have DC Legends Season 1. Now, DC Legends Season 1 is a great concept. I like the fact that we have like these time traveling superheroes and everything like that. But basically, this was just a show to dump out all the characters that they didn't know what to do with, that they wanted to keep exploring these characters' psyche and their motivation and their emotions and their character arcs, but they didn't know how to do that in the shows that they were originally placed in. So they dumped them all out here inside of this show that is very, very boring. I mean, this season to me was very boring. I personally liked the first couple episodes, but once it started getting going and everything like that with Vandal Savage, I really was not interested in the first season. And especially because it's just too many characters, too many personalities clashing together. Now, in anything else, this would have been fine. But in this, it's just they have too many characters and don't know what to do with all of them. Coming in at number 23, we have Arrow Season 6. Now, Arrow Season 6 is not as bad as a lot of people say it is. It's definitely not as bad as the Rotten Tomatoes score says it is. It's definitely better than Season 4. But I kind of like this season because opinions change. The outcome from Season 5 was so, It was such a cliffhanger. We didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, even someone that binge watched the entire Arrowverse, I didn't know what was happening until I got to season 6 of Arrow. And then they messed it up by not really referencing it, and nobody really died except for somebody unimportant. Oliver's son's mom died, and it was in a stupid way too. I would have loved the fact that what if Thea died, or what if Slade died, or what if Felicity died, or Diggle. I would understand if those 4 characters died, and this season kind of referenced that. But they didn't. Nobody died except for someone unimportant and someone that did a stupid decision to go back into a jungle where there's bombs hidden everywhere and henchmen all around. So, honestly, the way they handled the outcome from season 5 just brings this season down for me. But I do love the fact that Oliver does turn himself in at the end. I love the fact that, they have a whole storyline paved out for like this cop lady finding out who Oliver really was and who the Green Arrow really is. So I love that aspect about this season, but it just brings it down because of the outcome from season 5. Coming in at number 22, we have Black Lightning Season 2. Now, just like Black Lightning Season 3, it was very uninteresting and very boring for me. I love the fact that we find out Jennifer's powers and we explore her powers and her plotline a little bit more. But the villain that was most intimidating and most threatening in Season 1 was actually solved and confronted and defeated in one episode, in the last episode of Season 2. So, just let that sit. Coming in at number 21, we have Supergirl Season 2. Now, I actually enjoyed this season more than the higher seasons that I have on this list of Supergirl, but I think what brings this season down for me is the fact that we have an Arrowverse Superman. Now, that's not a bad thing. I love the Arrowverse Superman. I can't wait for his show, but I wish that this Superman wasn't put down so much to the fact that they have to bring Supergirl up. I mean, why put Superman in a show and then kind of depower him, really. Kind of depower him of his masculinity. Because if anybody who disagrees with Supergirl is stronger than Superman, you're a misogynist, toxic, masculine guy. I can't even think of the term for it. But just know that you're anti-feminist if you think Supergirl can't defeat Superman in a fight. And really, that shouldn't be the case. So honestly, this season has to come down because it brings Superman down. Kicking off my top 20 list, we have Flash Season 3. Flash Season 3 is alright. I like the Flashpoint storyline. I wish it was longer. I mean, the first episode of Season 3 was pretty great. I love seeing the fact that everything's different now. Everybody's in a different place. Everybody have different lives. And it's very interesting seeing how these characters have their different lives and everything like that. Wally is not a Flash. Barry is losing his memories and his speed the longer he stays in Flashpoint, so he has to go back. And yeah, that would be a great storyline, but I want to see him progress to the point where he has to go back throughout the entire season. I would have loved just at least 5 episodes, 4 to 5 episodes of him in Flashpoint. And then we see over those episodes, his memory is degrading and he has to get back to the real reality. So he has to let Eobard Thawne kill his mother. And I think that's one of the best, character defining moments, to let Eobard Thawne kill your mother. The person that you hate the most, you're supposed to allow him to kill your mother. So I think that would have been great. But speaking of villains, speaking of Eobard Thawne villains, Savitar was not good. I really didn't enjoy him as another speedster. He was kind of confusing. I like Future Barry. I like that aspect, but Savitar himself was meh for me. Coming in at number 19 for me has got to go to Supergirl Season 3. Season 3 was actually the point where I was not interested in Supergirl. I mean, of course, I saw every episode, and I remember some episodes from it. But really, this season was very boring and uninteresting to me. It It was very dark. They had a darker tone for Supergirl, and that's not what I want to see out of Supergirl. Just like how Flash Season 3 had a darker tone, Supergirl Season 3 had a darker tone, and Arrow Season 3 had a darker tone. And yeah, that works for Arrow, but that does not work for Flash or Supergirl. And to see Kara just broken like this, it's a cool character arc, but it's just distasteful to see Supergirl like this, uninspired, not hopeful. So it brings this season down a lot for me. The Reign storyline was okay. I mean, it was kind of confusing to me, but until I got into the gist of like what was happening, the Kryptonian killers, I understood the season more. But all in all, it was just really boring to me. Oh yeah, and Ruby, the worst character in the Arrowverse. She is the most annoying, the worst character in the Arrowverse, and I stand by that. Coming in at number 18, we have Supergirl Season 5. Now, Supergirl Season 5 was okay. The season finale was fine. I mean, it was nothing spectacular. I love the relationships between Kara and Lena. I think Pre-Crisis was actually the better half. I think that's what I said in my review. I don't know. Go check that out. It's link in the description. But I wish that we could have seen more of this relationship throughout the entire season. Leviathan was very confusing to me. I didn't understand what was going on with Leviathan, so I just focused on the Lena and Kara relationship. Martian Manhunter's brother came back. I really didn't understand that either. The suit is fine. Everything about this season is okay. Nothing spectacular. Brainy was very confusing. His character arc was confusing. But obviously the standout here is Lex Luthor because he comes back better than ever. So thank God for that. Coming in at number 17, we have Flash Season 6. Now, the first half is pre-crisis, and I love the first half. I think the first half was great. The first half is like, it's showing that the team is getting ready for Crisis. Barry's trying to get the team ready for Crisis and get ready for his death, and I like the aspect. I also love the character arc of Killer Frost. I love the fact that she's actually afraid that she's going to die without actually living a life, and this is the first time that she's ever been able to take control and live out a life, and Crisis is going to take it away from her. And I love that character defining moment. That's a great character moment. And I just love how the team just prepares for Crisis and just are afraid of what's going to happen to Barry. And Barry is afraid too, which brings in this villain, Ramsey, who wants to prevent death. He wants to prevent death so bad, and he creates this thing that prevents death but also turns you evil too. So that's in simpler terms. So post-Crisis, I think is a little bit lower than that. I think I said that. Link in the description for my review. I think I said that. But post-Crisis is just a little bit lower. It's basically about the Speed Force dying, Iris trapped inside of a mirror dimension or something, and Flash has to rely on artificial speed because he doesn't have speed anymore. Oh yeah, and Godspeed is here too, but not a main villain, which makes me mad. Coming in at number 16, we have Flash Season 5. The suit is bad. Nora turning evil is bad. Eobard Thawne coming back is okay. I mean, he makes the season better. Cicada is bad. Cicada 2.0 is bad. There's a lot of things about this season that's bad. But I guess I can enjoy it for like the earlier episodes when Nora comes back and she's learning more about her dad and she's hanging out with her parents when they were younger. I love that aspect. It brings a lot of tension with the more family dynamics, and they also get back to the Flash roots, just a new villain every week. So I think that's a very cool thing for Flash. I may sound bored right now, but that's because Flash Season 5 really didn't have anything significant for me to say. I mean, I said almost everything in my Flash ranking. So, yeah, I think that it just has a lot of family dynamics put into the mix, which makes it a whole lot of fun. It's very lighthearted. But Nora turning evil, bad. Flash's suit, bad. Cicada, bad. Cicada 2.0, bad. So, nothing really different here except for the family dynamics and a more lighthearted tone. Coming in at number 15, we have Arrow Season 7. The Arrow Season 7 is actually very mixed for me. I enjoy it. I enjoy a lot of things about it, but I don't enjoy the fact that he doesn't wear his mask when he get out of prison. And I also hate the fact that he gets out of prison 9 episodes into the season. The man didn't even spend 15 episodes in there. I don't even think he spent 9 episodes in there. I really want to see more of that prison storyline. I wish if we would have saw more of it, if we would have saw like I say 2 months of it. Just give us 2 months of that prison storyline. I think they did. I don't know. But if they would have just gave us just a little bit more of that prison storyline, I would have loved this season, would have it higher on this list. But instead, we get stupid crap like the Ninth Circle and in the Miko Queen, the worst Arrow villain here. More spotlight than we do the prison storyline. And it has a similar problem just like Season 6. The fallout from Season 6 was not executed well in Season 7. Only in the episodes that he was in prison and he gets out episodes later because they have to have a reason for him to be in Elseworlds. Just makes me mad, but that prison storyline just keeps this season afloat just a little bit. Coming in at number 14, we have DC Legends Season 2. Now, I'm not a big fan of DC Legends Season 2, and a lot of my commenters say that it's the best blend of comedy and seriousness out of DC Legends. It's prime DC Legends for them. And to me, I just can't see that. I mean, obviously I can see that, but that's just not my preference for DC Legends. I like the more lighthearted tone. I like the more don't take itself too serious tone. And when stuff does get serious, I feel it. So in this season, I really was not interested in most of it. I like the Legion of Doom. They are my favorite villains come out of DC Legends. And I like Amaya and Nate coming into the team. They're great additions. But what I don't like is Rip Hunter being evil. I thought he was such a great character in Season 3 and especially in Season 1. He said he had such a great character arc, and I don't like his character in Season 2. So that's just my preference, and that's what brings this season down for me. Coming in at number 13, we have DC Legends Season 4. Now, Season 4 is actually a lot of people's least favorite season. I think this is where I started getting a lot more invested inside of DC Legends. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed Season 3, but Season 4 was just a game to me. Like, this was hilarious. This season was hilarious. The team was hilarious. To me, it was hilarious. I love the fact that we have demons coming from hell. It's just an amazing season. To me, I just really enjoy it. I don't think it's amazing like S tier, A tier, but I think it's just B tier. It's all right. It's a nice lighthearted comedy blend, and I really like that. But I think the only thing that brings this season down for me is the fact that Constantine, it feels like a Constantine Season 2. He steals the spotlight because the storyline, the villain, all of that is all about him. And in a DC Legends show, you want to see more of the legends, And Constantine is actually this guy that doesn't really want to be a part of the Legends like that. I mean, he's there on their ship, but he doesn't want to be a part of the Legends. So it's kind of weird to me. Why is he there and he doesn't want to be a part of the team? Coming in at number 12, we have Arrow Season 1. Now, Arrow Season 1 to me was actually a breath of fresh air. I really loved the darker theme of Arrow. I mean, I love the fact seeing Arrow being this vigilante and, he's actually killing people. That's very cool and a very different take on superheroes because that superheroes' number one rule, they don't kill. Oliver don't care. He'll kill anybody. He'll kill anybody evil just to save his city. And that's just a simple story. It's a guy in a hood trying to save his city. And I think that's one of the most that's one of the best premises of a TV show. I mean, and also mix that in with CW's soapy drama. I mean, it actually works here because it's interesting, it's interesting. They also pull a card in the beginning of the season where Oliver gets arrested for being the Arrow. That's interesting. So the show itself is interesting. Coming in at number 11, we have Supergirl Season 4. Now, Supergirl Season 4, I was not paying attention to any of the episodes. I watched all of them. I just did not care for any of the episodes. I love Red Daughter. She's an amazing villain. I love Lex Luthor. He's an amazing villain. Sons of Liberty. They're amazing villains. I love the fact they're actually representing more LGBTQ characters, but not the in your face type of characters. Dreamer, she is transgender. I didn't know that the actress was transgender. I didn't even know that she was transgender because they don't put it in your face that much. Supergirl knows what it is. It's a show that can actually mix in all of these themes of racial themes and equality type themes inside of their show and also keep you engaged. I wasn't engaged, but I know a lot of other people was engaged because Supergirl Season 4 is actually well liked. And to me, I like it. Before I get into my top 10, I'd like to stop and take the time to say that if you are a fan of the Arrowverse, which you probably are, that's why you're watching this video, click that playlist up above for everything Arrowverse related that I have on my channel. Also, if you are a big fan of the MCU, I am doing a Marvel rewatch, and I do have a podcast which I do the Marvel rewatch on. So, if you are a fan of the MCU and if you are a fan of the Arrowverse, click that playlist up above for Arrowverse content and click the link in the description for the regular podcast. Without further ado, let's get in my top 10. Kicking off my top 10 list is Batwoman Season 1. Now, this may be an unpopular opinion, but because I know a lot of people did not like Batwoman Season 1 and are glad that Ruby Rose is out of the role. But honestly, I feel like I'm already connected to the character. Ruby Rose leaving the role is actually going to hurt me. It's actually going to, I'm not going to feel that great because Ruby Rose is gone. She's not there anymore. But in the first half of this season, I was not invested. They had two-dimensional characters. Every girl that Kate met had to be gay or lesbian or bisexual. And I get it, okay? I get it. Kate is gay. We don't need to know that every episode, okay? So it just made me mad that this was just the show that was trying to be all feminist and all anti-man, all man-hating and stuff like that. I was not invested inside of the show at all come the first half of Season 1. But second half of Season 1, I enjoyed it a lot more. They put Batwoman to the side. They put the feminism, they put the gay rights stuff to the side and just focused on the character of Kate. And I really enjoyed that. And I respect them for that. And the fact that we actually get more character development on Alice and more of her character. And also, Bruce Wayne is here. Coming in at number 9, we have DC Legends Season 5. Now, at the time of this recording, you have probably already seen that I had to re-upload my DC Legends Season 5 review. That's because YouTube messed up. So, honestly, this season was great. I love this season. I love the tone. I loved everything about this season. Only thing that I really didn't like is the fact that Sarah has powers and then doesn't all of a sudden. I hope her abduction at the end of the season has something to do with her powers. And Ray Palmer's exit was not well handled. But I think that's about it. They're just minor nitpicks. This season is actually fun, is funny, and very well handled despite the fact that coronavirus came. Coming in at number 8, we have Arrow Season 5. Now, when I was watching Arrow Season 5, I did not understand the hype. A lot of people were saying that it's the best Arrow season ever. It's up there with Season 2 of Flash. It's up there with Season 1 of Flash. It's up there with Season 2 of Arrow. And I was like, I don't really see it. It just looks the same to me. No. It was until I got to Capuchon. I think that's the name of the episode. I don't know. Probably the best episode inside of the Arrowverse, in my opinion. It's just Adrian Chase and Oliver Queen in a room together. Not Prometheus, not Green Arrow. Oliver Queen and Adrian Chase in a room together. And Adrian is torturing Oliver until Oliver breaks and finally says the thing that Adrian wanted him to say. He just enjoys killing. And oh yeah, Oliver is killing again after he stopped doing it in Season 1. Actually, I think it's Season 2. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, Adrian Chase actually broke Oliver in this season. So now I understand the hype. And I love this season. Coming in at number 7, we have Black Lightning Season 1. Now, Black Lightning Season 1 was not on my radar at all when it first came out. When I was rewatching the Arrowverse, I had to go back and watch Black Lightning Season 1. And when I was watching it, I loved it. It might be better than Black Panther. Those two are bickering back and forth, but I know good well that it's better than Luke Cage. It's definitely better than Luke Cage. I love the aspect about a retired superhero coming out of the shadows to help his community out and everything like that. Way better than Luke Cage's storyline, and I love that aspect. I wish the other seasons could have held up the same quality as this, because this season had something to say and said it well. And Tobias Well might be one of the most frightening, intense, and threatening villains inside of the entire Arrowverse. Coming in at number 6, we have DC Legends Season 3. DC Legends Season 3 is actually my favorite season of DC Legends, and for good reason too. I love the Time Bureau. The Time Bureau is amazing. I think that's a great concept and handled perfectly well. I love the fact that the Legends are actually fixing their mistakes from Season 2, and Bebo comes inside of the final battle. I love that. I really love that. Wally West has joined the Legends. Zari, one of the hottest characters inside of the Arrowverse, joins the Legends. Just amazing. And then the outcome from Crisis on Earth X actually has weight on the characters, and they actually reference it inside of the show post Crisis on Earth X. So this season was actually a win in my book. Kicking off my top 5 list, we have Flash Season 2. Flash Season 2 is actually a win in my book also. I think it's very entertaining. The effects look great. I love the villain. The villain is very good. I just don't think that he's better than Season 1 villain. I love the fact that Central City is actually referencing the Flash now. They love the Flash. He's actually a public figure now. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's better than what the Green Arrow is getting. And Flash just keeps his lighthearted tone, but also brings in a little bit of darkness to their tone, and I really enjoy that. The introduction of Firestorm in this season is very nice. I think Firestorm is one of the best Arrowverse superheroes out there. And Zoom, he is a great villain. He's one of the best Arrowverse villains out there also. So I gotta give it to him. They actually killed off Barry's dad, and the Man in the Mask actually turned out to be the real Jay Garrick. So Zoom was just posing as Jay Garrick, and the Man in the Mask was the real Jay Garrick. And I loved uncovering that mystery throughout the entire season. Coming in at number 4, we have Arrow Season 8. Arrow Season 8 was alright. I think the season leaves behind a great big legacy for Arrow. It was actually just them going through the timeline, and like every episode was its own season of Arrow. I love that aspect. It was 10 episodes. One of them was a backdoor pilot. One of them was Crisis, and the other one was the finale. So the other 7 was just him going through all these different timelines of his life and the seasons of Arrow, which I really do love. This does leave behind a great big legacy and does leave open the room for a spinoff, which is Green Arrow and the Canaries, which I would love to see. I would love to see a show of the Green Arrow and the Canaries, because they were good in this season. So I think Oliver's last season is an A++, because it just leaves behind a great big legacy. And I guess you could say Season 5 of Flash left behind a legacy, but to what? To what? They still had another season. No, this is the final season, which is great. And Oliver actually looks like the real Green Arrow this time. Kicking off my top 3 list, we have Supergirl Season 1. Now, I think this season is just a breath of fresh air from the other shows that we had. I mean, come on, we had a vigilante show, we had a super speedster show. Now it's time for a show about hopefulness and just loving each other as different races come together, and I love that. I love the fact that Kara Zor-El is actually trying to find her own place in the world. She doesn't need Superman's help. Superman is in Metropolis while Supergirl is in National City. It makes for a great dynamic because Superman doesn't actually need to be there, and that's one of the things that I love about this season, that they really don't show Superman his face. They really don't show him. They only show his body and his shadow and everything like that. So I think without showing his face, we know that he's there, but he's not there to help Kara. Kara doesn't need help because she's trying to find her own place in the world, and I think that's an amazing character arc for this show and for this season and for this character. And plus, it it makes me smile because this season is so much better than the other seasons of Supergirl, mainly because it was on a different network and they really didn't need all that soapy drama that they incorporated into the show in later seasons. Supergirl is a bright, bubbly show, and I would watch this season time and time again, regardless of how bad the villain is. Our runner-up at number 2, we have Arrow Season 2. Now, I actually battled this in my head a lot. I really wish that this could have been my number 1, but it's not. It has the other one has to come in at number 1. This season was actually pretty moving for me. I enjoyed the fact that Arrow is not really killing anymore. I mean, I missed it, but I love the fact that he wasn't killing anymore. I love the action. The storyline in Lian Yu was actually a lot more interesting than the storyline out there. But don't get me wrong, the storyline in present time was just as interesting, just a little bit lower. But I do love the same tone that they had in season 1. It's a lot of different story arcs coming into play here, which makes the season a whole lot more interesting. Slade Wilson has become a main character inside of this season now, and he's actually the main villain, which I think he's the best Arrow villain. That might change because of Adrian Chase. Adrian Chase was an amazing villain, but Slade Wilson was actually one of those villains that actually killed Oliver's mother and walked away and didn't die. He killed Oliver's mother and walked away alive. So that shows how great of a villain he is and how he brings this season up. But I wish this could have been my number 1. But coming in at my number 1 has got to go to Flash Season 1. Dude, I battled between Season 2 of Arrow and Season 1 of Flash so much in my head, and I gotta say that I enjoy Season 1 more. I think the storyline of Harrison Wells, me finding out that he was actually Eobard Thawne in the first episode was very mysterious. Like, I loved uncovering that mystery and peeling back that peel that was Eobard Thawne or Reverse Flash or Harrison Wells, whoever he was. I wanted to see that Barry was actually correct, that there was a man in a yellow suit in his house that night when his mother got killed. And come to find out, Reverse Flash didn't even have a reason for killing his mother. He just wanted to get the Flash out of his life. He wanted to he wanted the Flash to not exist. He wanted him to experience a heartbreak so then he wouldn't turn into the Flash. He even says it in the season that the only reason why he killed his mother is because he hated him. Like, that's very moving. And they also bring in this campy style of I don't know what it is, but CW did it. CW really didn't have a soapy drama on his hands. That was already with Arrow. They already had something dealing with Arrow through season 3. But when season 1 of Flash came out, that was actually pretty. It was pretty good. It was awesome. It was pretty good. They had a campy style of the way they was making the show. It was very fun in tone. It was nice. So honestly, Flash is just a family-friendly season that anybody can enjoy. Alright guys, that is it for the ranking. Please note that everything that I said in this video is just my very own opinion. My list was certainly not the right list. It was just my list, and if you made it this far inside of the video, congratulations, you made it to the end. If you didn't, well, sucks to be you. I guess you're not a winner. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please comment down below your ranking of the Arrowverse seasons, or you could just do your favorite. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.